Welcome to the Traders Corner, brought to you by the StreetBeat.com CEO interview series. And now your host, Steve Cannavale.
Steve Cannavale here in Traders Corner, bringing you information on small, micro cap, and cultural stocks and information you can't get anywhere else. Sponsored by the StreetBeat.com. Thanks for visiting our site, Expedited.com. And how can you not talk about the Republican National Convention, the RNC, the meeting going on in Tampa, the gathering of the Conservative Party, and as we head into a presidential election year? And just some of the notes I made during the call. This is important to business. You know, it's Wall Street kind of veered off the path a little bit, making sure that President Obama gets elected, and now they're really questioning whether they want him for another 4 years, which is logical. The two-party system in the U.S. is interesting, the way that it's set up. But some of the planks that are interesting, and the theme really which keeps going over and over again, and we're talking about this because it's important to business, and we're talking about it in an election year because it is important to the stock market, and I believe it's one of the reasons the stock market goes up is because the anticipation of the investor base is that you're going to have looser regulation, and that's really why it's important to Wall Street. It's looser regulation. It's my view that Wall Street itself is unregulatable. With technology involved, it moves way too fast for some, a slow-moving bureaucratic system like the SEC. There is no way that they can keep up with hedge funds and the smartest people in the world. They can't do it. It's impossible, and any attempt to do that is just a waste of time and money. But that's my view. That's not the view of everyone. But let's talk about the themes for the Republican plank. You have a handout versus business, dependent versus independent. These are some of the messages from the speakers at the Republican National Convention, and I think it's going to wind up being important for the stock market as a lot of people pay attention and watch the Republican National Convention. The three themes that are important are family, business, and the potential of the economy. They're going to hammer on that over and over again, and Mitt Romney, as the leader of the Republicans, is a former Bain Capital investment banker and hedge fund manager, really started Bain Capital, and really is kind of represents entrepreneurial thinking as much as anyone. So I found it interesting that they had the debt clock very visible for the cameras and kind of over the right shoulder of the speaker. I think that's important. That's part of their theme. And the other theme revolves around family, business, and potential. I found it interesting also that simultaneously to the Republican National Convention is unfortunately the storm surge that's going on in New Orleans, and the eerie coincidence of Isaac and Katrina ending up landing at the mouth of the Mississippi. Now that is not a coincidence. I'm not a weather analyst, but anytime a storm lands at exactly at the same point on exactly the same day, it is not coincidence. It has to do with barometric pressure. I was talking to some people from Mississippi, and I said, what do you expect to happen? They said, what happens with the storms? They enter at the mouth of the Mississippi, and they run right up the Mississippi River. So that's exactly what's going on. You have flooding there in Mississippi, and unfortunately, our heart goes out to all the people of New Orleans. They also spent $3 billion putting up a restraining wall and kind of a levee to be able to maintain the city of New Orleans, which is below sea level. You try and do, there's an important point that I heard the other day which makes the most sense, which is anything that man creates, nature can tear down. Natural disasters are part of our life here on this planet, and kind of chasing, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be investing money in New Orleans. You should. It's a wonderful place. It's unfortunate where it is. It's below sea level, and every time there's a storm, it's going to run right through the mouth of the Mississippi, and there's not a darn thing anybody can do about it. This is Steve Cannavale here in Traders Corner, bringing you information on small and micro cap you can't get anywhere else, sponsored by the StreetBeat.com. Have a great Thursday. Thanks for listening.
TheStreetBeat.com is a publisher of news and opinions and not a securities dealer or broker or an investment advisor. For a full disclaimer, please see our website, www.thestreetbeat.com.